That was weird. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Temi Talks Live here on the Wavy Baller Hub. If this is your first time watching, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and follow the movement that is the Wavy Baller Hub. Okay, Manchester United 2, Aston Villa 2. Our first, we snapped a 3-game losing streak today with that draw. Honestly, I'm kind of happy about it. We needed to see some mistakes. I think Ten Hag needed to see so obviously where there's a lot of things lacking in the squad. I'm sure he's seen it already and he already knew, but it's good. It's good. I think perfection in preseason is always deceptive. You feel me? So it's going to be really interesting to see, and I'm going to get the thoughts of two really smart Manchester United fans. I got my guy Hammer, who's with me right now, and I'm going to bring him in. I also got my guy Mark, aka 15. He's on Trafford Tunnel a ton, and I'm really excited to get both of their thoughts. We're going to talk about a lot of things here. So let me bring in my guy Hammer, bro. Good to see you. It's been a minute. How you been?
Yeah, man, definitely been a minute, man. I'm doing all right. Early morning here for us in the States.
Bro, so early. So full transparency, I missed the first 20 minutes. So I'm gonna need your help here, bro. Just walk me through, the first half. I pretty much watched 5 minutes before the first goal. But no, walk me through the beginning. Like how was the game looking at that point? And then let's talk about the goal.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the game was looking all right in those first 20 minutes. We were coming back into somewhat of you know, how we've been seeing the first few games, seeing that style actually coming through, which I think
Yep.
more, at least me, I think, but I think also some other fans are a little surprised that they were picking it up as fast as it seems they have been.
Right.
I will say though that as it definitely got worse throughout the game, that pitch and that weather
Yeah,
was
bro.
the
Yeah,
struggle.
that pitch was terrible. Like I can't I think the last time I saw a pitch like we played on a pitch that bad was it Ollie's first full season where we played Tranmere? Do you remember that?
Was it a
In like
cup
the FA
game?
Cup? Yeah. And we won
Yeah.
and we won like 6-0. Dallo scored his first goal. Like,
Is that where Maguire hit that screamer?
yeah, and Maguire
Yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah, hit that crazy shot.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's the last time we played on a pitch that bad.
I
So
will I will say I wouldn't take shots at them as a team because I think the announcers are saying there was a game yesterday and the weather was
mm,
shit. So I think that's
okay.
why the pitch was
All
torn
right,
up.
that makes sense. Hey, fair enough. We're not gonna hit on them too bad. But what's going on, Derpy Gaming? Everybody who's watching, make sure to share this, like this, subscribe. Make sure to follow my guy Ham. I'm gonna put his information in the description after this, so make sure to follow my guy. But yeah, no. So obviously, the first 20 minutes you said was good, and then the goal happened. Talk me through the goal. Talk me through the goal. What'd you think about that? Again, Jaden Sancho getting on the score sheet.
I think it was a really good build up. I think when, especially if you watched it and they were able to see, they show, obviously when they show that replay, you saw it happening, right? You saw the build up, you saw the passes, and then for me, I really enjoyed seeing. I know he struggled later on, but Shaw was making really good runs in that first half,
Yeah,
really good
yeah.
overlapping runs, and I think once he saw it get onto Bruno, I believe in the middle, he took off because he
Right.
saw the side was open and he knew something was going to come of it. And then honestly, it was a great pick out. He saw to get the pass in through the defense there and get it on to Jaden, who was sitting there at that back post. And
Yeah.
then it was low key. I don't think he went for it, but he got a nice little nutmeg there on the goal. He went between
Mm.
what's his name? Who's the left back? Dina. He went and got
Yeah,
it
yeah,
between
yeah.
his legs.
Yeah.
So yeah, great build up, really good pick out and good finish. So it was a good goal, good team goal. I really enjoyed seeing.
Yeah, and that's something we've seen a lot in this preseason. It's like build up goals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um goals that you haven't, we didn't see a lot in the past 3 years where it
Mhm.
was just a lot of individual play and stuff like that. I'm gonna bring in my guy Mark here. What's going on, bro? Thanks for
It's all
hopping
right.
on the last second, bro. We really
That's cool.
appreciate it. Hey guys, this is a real smart brother right here. You feel me? So make sure to show him some love. I'm gonna put his information in the description. So yeah, no, Mark, with me, this is my guy Hama. I don't think you've met him before, but
Good going, man.
yeah, no. So we were just talking about the first half, the first couple 20 minutes. I missed the first 20 minutes because it's like
Yeah.
the game started at 5:45 here. So, bro, just I didn't get to sleep. I didn't go to sleep till like 1 a.m. You feel me? I just there's no. I slept through that alarm, bro. I slept through that
Yeah,
alarm,
we
but
we had kickoff at 11 a.m. over here.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
perfect.
so it's
That's
not too bad.
perfect. You get to
Yeah,
sleep in, maybe drink some coffee. You feel me? Just
yeah,
No.
you get to
yeah,
stretch a little bit, bro. You get to stretch a
yeah.
little bit. I literally woke up like, oh fuck, like I got I gotta fucking go watch this game. Um, but nah, yeah, no, Mark, talk me through the first 25 minutes, and then what do you think of that Sancho goal?
Um, First of all, the pitch didn't help at all. I think
We're just talking about it.
both
Yeah.
teams did well with what they had to do for the pitch. I think we tr- like we try to keep it short and snappy. I realized that sort of that. So give me a second.
All good there. We'll give Mark a second. We'll give Mark a second. But yeah, no, as I think Mark was talking about the pitch and all and like how tricky it was. But I saw a lot like that first half, the what I watched, I saw a lot of good stuff. I saw a lot of
Yeah.
good stuff. So it wasn't too bad. Like, and then it kind of just switched up on us. Oh, did we lose Hama? It kind of just switched up on us in that second half, and we'll discuss that a bit, and then we'll go into the next 11. But while we're waiting, the second goal was could have been really good if Marcus had put his foot on it. Another lovely team goal. Jadon Sancho involved again. I've already said it before. I think he's going to be the engine of our attack. Honestly, like all good things are going to kind of flow through him. I'm going to move Hammer real quick. All good things are going to kind of flow through him. Let me see if Mark is. Let me know if you're good, Mark. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I know it was kind of a weird ending, and we'll talk about that. But again, I think a 2-2 draw is a good thing for us. You feel me? If we just kept winning, a lot of us would have got too excited, and then we would have overhyped the season, and try to say we're going to be in places that we're probably not going to be. But again, it did show that we need some reinforcements. To some extent, we need some reinforcements to some extent. But yeah, no, like if you look at that midfield, Fred, you know, I don't know what to say. A little untrustworthy, a little untrustworthy. One obviously we've already talked about it. The pitch wasn't great. The pitch wasn't great. You feel me? The pitch wasn't great, but there's still moments where I've seen Fred on perfect pitches do the same thing. So I gotta be real about it. Gotta be real about it. Gotta be real about it. Oh my god, my guy's back. My guy, you good, bro?
No, I'm sorry. My shit died. Gave me no warning. I had it plugged in during the game too. I don't know how the battery was low. That's
it's
crazy.
all it's all good, bro. I was just talking about just the second half
Yeah,
and how I think it was a good thing that we struggled. You know what I mean?
for sure.
I think fans were getting a little too hyped for me. I was just seeing a lot of excitement, which is good. I think there is a lot of things to be excited about, but I don't think we're locked in to get top four or anything like that this season. Like
No,
I don't, I wouldn't be that like if we honestly if we win Europa League like that will be my aim this season. Like just win the Europa League, like win us a trophy,
yeah.
win us something, and we should be good to go. But like, what were your thoughts on the? Let's go back a little bit. So the Rashford goal, or not the Rashford own goal. What do you think about that build up?
Um,
I
oh,
no,
go
you
on.
go ahead. No, go ahead, bro.
No,
Give me a second,
I just
Marcus.
had
Go ahead.
like I was thinking it's good like to string a few passes together. I know um like sometimes we all want like the perfect team goal, whatever, yeah. But sometimes when you do like the basic things, it looks really easy. So when you do the basic things and just strip back things down to like basics, yeah, it can work. So I think it was just about oh sorry, that's the Rashford goal. Like actually no, sorry.
Yeah,
I was thinking about the Sancho goal, sorry.
no, you're good.
Rashford's goal was hard because like it felt like the rain kind of assisted the goal. Like Lindelof couldn't see anything. Like you could see at one point, like Lindelof was just like sort of like he had like his hands over his eyes, like he couldn't tell what was happening. And then obviously like he's played it to I think Fred. I think
Yeah,
um,
I think it was Fred. I think it was
and
Fred,
then
if I'm
Fred
not
obviously
mistaken.
dinked it. I don't know. It was a weird one because I felt like if the rain hadn't sort of like come down in the fashion it did,
It might not have happened.
yeah. But like you can't complain because we created our own luck. Because Rashford could have missed that, could have easily missed that as well. Because the way he kind of skewed it, it looked like it was going wide.
Right.
So it's like we kind of created our own luck. So I can't really
Yeah.
complain.
Yeah, no, I honestly, the goals, I think I said this earlier in the week, like the goals don't really matter to me right now.
Yeah,
It's
no,
more so how we're playing, and I'm seeing a lot of interesting things. And once we get to the second half and talking about that, I want us to talk about what United's best 11 will be. You know, just let's just say if we don't make any more signings, right? Like what would that best lineup look like? But the second half again struggles. It was it was definitely not a great half. I think Tellers was playing DM, which was interesting to me. You know, and it was just not great. And even before the subs came on, I was saying like Leon Bailey started cooking Luke Shaw. I don't know, like it was crazy. It was like oh, Luke Shaw had a good game, then he had a bad game all of a sudden. Like
that's a big thing about Luke Shaw. I feel like he does this thing where like he's quite lazy, so he doesn't like even sort of like Matty Cash was sort of like running past him, and he was sort of like casually jogging back. And one
yeah,
thing that I've noticed about Luke Shaw's game is that he doesn't close down crosses quick enough. He doesn't get out to people quick enough,
right,
and he's very lackadaisical in sort of like tracking back.
yeah,
And it's probably why the left hand side has sort of like suffered like these
Which
last few years because he's just really, really casual. Like even sort of like the first goal, like the overlap was good, but we haven't seen enough of that. And it's just like
right, right,
when 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 we asked that for Luke Shaw, just like he acts like someone's putting a gun to his head, like he's not like he's being forced to do it. But that should be like sort of like part and parcel of a fullback nowadays. And I feel like when Melissa
what are
comes
your
on,
thoughts on that, Hammer?
Yeah, no, I agree, and it gets frustrating because we've seen it just like in the first goal, right? Like you said, he has it, right? He has the speed, he has a somewhat decent ability to put a good cross in.
mm,
So when you see him doing like you were just explaining, right, jogging back, not closing out fast enough, it's not even to a point where it's like I would say, for example, Dallo is like an opposite, right? Like Dallo will get up, Dallo will go and try to put the cross to try to make a dribble, and he'll struggle on defense. But we know Dallo struggles on defense, right?
mm,
But we've seen Shaw do better on defense and also contribute going forward. So when we see him being lazy, yeah, I agree. It's frustrating. And I think one thing that I've been thinking of, especially with Ten Hag coming in, I know we're probably going to talk about it too, and I've seen a lot of people tweeting about it, is there's some players who might not be on the chopping block this summer, but are
Mm,
probably don't have too many more summers left that's going
right.
to be
mm,
out in the future.
yeah,
That's real, bro. That's real. I think I think it's interesting because this manager, like, have you guys been seeing the training sessions, like the little clips that
yeah,
have been coming out?
yeah, yeah. He doesn't
Bro,
know shit, does
he's
he?
not playing, bro. Like, like you see how he cussed out Zidane the other day? I was like,
Yeah,
wow. Honestly, but people might be like, oh my god, but you
Nah,
think I don't want to bring up Sir Alex, but any manager, you saw Gerard do it today, like he snapped today,
yeah,
like if you're a man, like I think we were just under Ollie, it was just everyone was just so
too much.
like I don't think
no,
any.
but like even under Oli, yeah,
There was
can you
moments. There was moments. He had his moments
remember?
where he
Yeah,
snapped. I remember there was one time he snapped at Lingard,
I'm
right?
just about to say, yeah, the
Yeah.
Manchester derby, yeah, when the ball
It's the
kept rolling
same.
under his feet, and he warned him, said like, "Do that one more time, I'm hooking you." Yeah, that
Yeah, bro.
happened.
Yeah, yeah. No, that was one. That was I'll give him that one. That was the
Yeah,
only time I
Well,
really saw him
I think
snap.
I think in terms of that, and I think the last time I was on AFU, which was a couple of weeks ago now, I mentioned it, and they were talking about like management styles and stuff like that, and I was like, to me, a good manager has that balance, right, and also
Yeah,
knows his personnel, right, knows who you can go and get in their shit and put one and go off on them, and then
right.
knows who you need to go talk to and be like, listen, even if you're getting into them, right, don't like cuss them out, like, no, you need to
Yeah.
get better, like that's not the shit we need.
I think
yeah,
he strikes me as someone who like doesn't give you everything, so you always kind of like wondering what his mood is, and then he'll
yeah,
snap, and then
yeah,
you'll figure it out. Like you can't tell if he's really happy or if he's, you know,
yeah,
if he's like he's just even when you score, like even when we score goals,
He's straight
his
face,
demeanor does not change. Like it's the same, like straight
and you know
face,
what? I kind of
look
like it.
around. I do. Like we could be up 1-0, 2-0, and his face is just the exact same. But just we've talked about the Aston Villa goals. Honestly, I don't care. Okay, Leon Bailey kind of did Lindelof. That was a great goal, first of all. Like, that's just a really good goal. Maybe Lindelof.
Even sort of like, sorry, just to get back at Luke Shaw, yeah, we saw like the difference between Malacia and Shaw. Like when Malacia plays, yeah, he's instantly like very tight to you. He doesn't give you time to breathe. And I thought like Leon Bailey was cooking Shaw, but he wasn't cooking Malacia because Malacia wasn't giving him the opportunity to. Because every time Leon Bailey got the ball, Malacia was like touch tight on his backside and whatnot. Yeah, whereas Luke Shaw, Lindelof, especially for the Lindelof, the first goal, they just kept backing off. And when you got someone like Leon Bailey, I'm not saying like he's Messi or whatever here, but when you got like a inverted forward, like and they're tricky, you never know whether they're gonna go left, and you never know whether they're gonna go right. And the worst thing you can do is like back off them because it's like you're just inviting more pressure, and that's what Lindelof did.
Yeah, I just don't think he thought that he was gonna just ping it like that, But again, you're right. You have to close down.
But that's why you can't back off. And I feel like
Yeah,
someone like Malacia would have gone touch tight to him and made sure he didn't turn, whatever. But someone like Lindelof, who's a bit unsure of his defending, like they when they're in those situations, they're quite scared because no centre backs want to be isolated in like open space. Like that's the biggest.
Well, I don't know. For me, the way I think about that stuff too is, and Temi, I like a lot of sports, so like I end up bringing up, American football and stuff like that. It's kind of like a cornerback wide receiver, right? You got to know what your matchup is. You're gonna give them space. You're gonna go tight. You're gonna,
you just have to exactly. You have to know. You have to know who your receiver is exactly. But no, to that point, like I'm not too bothered about the last goal. Okay, De Gea, you could have closed out. I don't care. I genuinely don't care. I'm more interested on talking about what this best 11 is moving forward. And one thing that I think I saw like Rick the Red bring it up. Like, I'm really glad that we're playing. You can tell who our first 11 may be going into the season. Like, we have a rough idea. Like in preseasons prior, we were just kind of just throwing out anybody. Like, we play one half with one team and one half with another team. Then we start with the youth kids. Then it was just always, there was never any organization to it. But now it's like, okay, we can kind of feel who our best 11 is going to be, but the defense is still confusing me. I am so interested to see, like, hear your all's thoughts on what you think our best back four is right now. So okay, we'll do this. I want you to give me what you think our best back four is with with this lineup we have, and then what you think Ten Hag will eventually. Let's just say we'll give it a month so we can say Martinez, like, he's gotten the rhythm, whatever. A month into the season, what do you think our best back four will be, and then what do you think Ten Hag will be playing?
Okay,
I'll let Mark go first.
So what I think our best back four is on paper, yeah. This is hard because it's just like,
it is.
All right, so with context, there, I'm talking about like everyone fit, everyone 100%, everyone's got their sense.
Everyone's
no niggles. Everyone's like fresh to go. Ooh, blimey. Wait.
It's tough.
I already know what's making it tough for him. It's the center backs.
Right,
I'm talking. It's difficult, man. I thought about this. Like, anyway, go ahead. I'm gonna let you go first, Mark. Or how much? Do you have yours?
Right.
I mean, okay, there we go. Okay.
Varane, Martinez, Malacia.
Okay.
That's Yeah, I wasn't sure who. I knew who my left and right back was be. I was gonna go Malacia and Dallo. Varane would definitely start. Yeah, man, it would have to be. See, that's the thing, right? Like, if you want to go on paper, like, I'll be honest, I haven't watched enough of Martinez to, like, I want to see him in the, and like what he does and everything like that.
Fair.
I haven't watched Martinez, yeah, but my thinking is like,
you pay £55 million.
Left foot, right foot axis.
Exactly.
Like, and I feel like the coach that sort of like Ten Hag is, like, they're very, very invested into stuff like angles and build up play and whatnot. And I don't feel like he spent 56 million on a 5 centre back and he doesn't play.
Right. Exactly.
Well, to be honest, the other thing that's in my head about him too is I don't know how much it is of him in that defensive midfielder role is useful. And, if we can make a center back pairing work, I mean, Fred, McTominay, and Garner are our options right now?
Yeah. So okay,
So,
so here that's a fair point. Here's what here's what I think the best back four is. Dallo at left center back. I just I haven't seen enough of Martinez. So I would just say for right now, oh man, this is tough. I don't want to get clipped up for this. But
You're not
I'm
gonna
gonna
get kicked out because
yeah,
it's what
it's a
you
weird
think.
one.
It's
So
what you
okay.
think
It's what I
is the
think.
best.
So right now, if you're asking me,
Yeah.
right back Dallo, left center back Lindelof, right center back Varane, left back. This one's tough for me because I'm a big Luke Shaw fan. I can't lie. So I'll just go Shaw.
Okay.
And the reason I'm saying that, one, Martinez is going to play at that left center back position, so that's going to happen, right? I don't see him playing DM, to be real with you, Hama. Like,
Me neither.
he,
well, sorry.
when
The other reason I said that too is just because
of
of
our
the
options,
option.
yeah,
Yeah, like if it
well,
gets
hundred
to a
percent.
point,
100%. And the thing is, like, he played DM a little bit at Ajax, but like I think it was
Not
like
last season, the
it,
season before.
excuse me, thank you. The
Yeah.
season before, like he wasn't really. I think that's when he was just betting into the side. Like
Yeah.
he's a center back. And when Ten Hag talked about him, he was talking about him as he's a warrior. You know, he's a. They asked him about the
yeah.
center back
By
thing.
the way,
He didn't
I
even
love
bring
his
up.
nickname,
He didn't even. Oh yeah, the what is it again? The
the
something
Butcher.
butcher.
Yeah, Butcher Amsterdam or
The
something like that.
butcher.
Butcher of
That'd be the Butcher of
Amsterdam, like
Manchester.
Butcher
like
coming.
the boys, butcher from the boys. Yeah, no, yeah, it's so that left center back position. I know, but then it begs the question of okay, who is he actually going to play? Like, I don't know if Varane is locked in right now. I'm going to be real with you. I've been thinking about this. He moved Maguire to right center back, right, for a reason, because Martinez is coming in, right, and he knows that I'm going to play this left-footed center back. So now we have, okay, the three center backs that probably have a realistic chance of playing that right center back position. Maguire, Varane, Lindelof. Maguire's the captain, right? He's going to play. He's going to play. So it's probably going to be Martinez and Maguire, which is so wild to me. Like I thought about this the other day, like Varane's probably not going to start. Like
Crazy.
he's probably not going to start, which I can't wrap. I think at the beginning of the season, at least, and here's another thing. Varane's not amazing on the ball. Like, I don't know if you guys have noticed that. Like, he's not like this silky operator on the ball. I think a lot of people think I think Varane's strength is just his defensive ability. Like, if you put him in a one-on-one situation, you know, he's very, very good. If you isolate him, he's very, very good. But like, he's not this tiki-taka center back, right? Like, I think
Maguire's not either.
Yeah, I think Maguire is. It's weird. I think his ball playing center back abilities are overrated. But
Yeah,
I think
I had this conversation the other day.
yeah, but a guy for his stature and his size, he is decent on the ball. Like he's decent on the ball. You see,
I think Maguire is a good ball player, not exceptional, but I think he's a better ball carrier. So when he breaks into midfield,
and he can make that.
Yeah,
a little over top pass.
Yeah, he makes that little. So his stats, and that's the thing. Maguire's stats to me have always been deceptive, right? Like he's one of the if you look at his numbers, like he's one of the best progressive passers in like Europe. He's like in the 80th, 85th percentile. But like, I've never seen him as somebody who's like
they don't come off.
Yeah, I've never seen him as someone who's elegant on the ball. I just think that he's a big dude, and
he's not.
Like, have you seen Dan Burn? We've all seen Dan Burn for Brighton, right? Like he has. I think his feet are better than Maguire's, and I'm not trying to disrespect or Newcastle now. He plays for Newcastle now, excuse me, but I think his feet are really good for a 6'5" center back. But
by the way,
again,
I've never been a Maguire fan since like
the
beginning, couple years.
Same.
So it's
but
hard.
I just honestly, so if we're talking about that back four again, and we'll go into midfield here in a second, but like, I think a lot of people are going to be upset. I think a lot of fans are going to be upset the first couple weeks of the season seeing.
Yeah, see, that's what I say. Like, because you said before, at least to start, right? That I'd agree with. What I'm hoping is that if he does start throwing in games and the form of last season, that even though he still is captain, that Ten Hag will rotate it, switch it up, put him on the bench. Whether even if it's just like put him on the bench because he's having bad form, so just let him
Right.
get himself back together. But I hope
Yeah.
it's not like Ole, where just because he's got the armband, he's starting every game.
I think
Yeah.
Varane's problem is just the injuries. Really, I think
Yeah.
in an ideal world, Ten Hag would want to pick him, but you can't pick him because
He's never fit.
he's just he's made out of weight a bit.
Glass. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You lot in America will probably say like cornmeal or something like.
Cornmeal.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. He's just made out of porridge.
Hey, how will we say that?
I don't think so, bro. I don't think I heard that one.
You don't say cornmeal.
Hell no, bro.
Porridge. I'm sorry. Sorry.
It's all love, bro. That's funny as hell. Cornmeal.
I've heard it so many times. I just thought, yeah.
Oh man, that's funny. That's funny. But it's gonna be interesting. The Varane thing again. We have to offload some players. Like Baye's not gonna play. Like we know that. Jones isn't gonna play. Lindelof, I think, will play because of the schedule and how just packed it is with the World Cup. And same thing. 4 of these center backs are going to play a lot, honestly. Like I think Varane will get games. It just depends on the, is he playing in the league or is he playing in the cups, right?
Also, yeah. So don't forget, there's a World Cup as well in the middle of the season.
Exactly. So
I really hope they don't do that shit again.
Nah, they won't. They're going to realize it's a mistake and never do it again. But let's talk about the midfield real quick. He started with Van de Beek, Fred, and Bruno. We talked about this on Never Foul. We talked about this on Trafford Tunnel earlier in the week on Van de Beek. And if we should be worried. I wasn't worried, but he was really quiet today. Like I didn't really I just didn't see him. I just don't remember him on the pitch at all. And it kind of felt like, how when McTominay kind of hides, and you're just like, where is he? That's how it felt today. And I normally don't attribute that to Van de Beek. But what are your thoughts on the midfield guys? And then what do you think? Fred too. Fred was pretty poor. At least from what I saw. I didn't see. I mean, maybe the first 20 minutes he was really good, but I wasn't impressed with Fred today. But I'll start with Hamo. What do you think of the midfield today? And then what do you think our best midfield 3 is?
Yeah, well, I think the midfield today. Yes, I agree with you. Fred and Donnie weren't, showing out and showing what they can do. But I think a little bit of it does, in this case, go back to the pitch in the middle of the pitch there. Because especially earlier on, yes, they were doing all right, but I was seeing a lot of times where the ball was rolling away from them, where the ball was, and they're like reaching out, just trying to keep it and poke it away to another one of our guys. But so yeah, I think they struggled today, but I think at least with the Downey side of it, I think of Fred and Scott too, just to bring them up, is we've seen their ceiling, right? So I think with Downey, we haven't seen him break out to the point that he did with Ajax. So it is disappointing. I think when he was here before he went on loan too, we didn't see him take advantage of some of the opportunities. He didn't get the best ones, but he didn't always take advantage of them.
Right.
So I think obviously Ten Hag knows what he can get out of Donnie. I just don't know. I don't know, at least. I don't know if Ten Hag knows where he's going to fully fit in.
Right.
We got Eriksen in, so he's most likely not going to be in any advanced role in number 10 or anything like that, because that's going to be Bruno and Eriksen. So is he going to be a box-to-box? Is he going to be helping in that holding midfielding type role? I don't really know.
Yeah, it's a great question. I don't know if I know the answer.
Yeah. So in terms of potentially the best midfield right now, I mean, Bruno has to start, in my opinion. Even if he's not perfect in terms of the type of cleanness in terms of playing that Ten Hag might want. He takes some of those chances a little bit too much sometimes. And then that's hard, man, because I don't think Eriksen is going to play in any type of holding or eight position. And I think even though he's only 30, I think his health stuff, they're not going to throw him in and have, let's start every game.
Weekend. Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to go. God damn it.
McTominay, Fred, Bruno.
I can't, bro. I can't.
I mean, listen, that's probably going to be the first midfield we see to start the season. Like, if I'm a betting man, it's probably against Brighton, it's probably going to be McTominay, Fred, and Bruno. Like I can't unless we sign a midfielder, and we'll talk about this whole Donny situation because I'm interested to hear Mark's thoughts on this. But Mark? What were your thoughts on the midfield today? And what do you think our midfield will be against Brighton?
You know, in the first half, Fred had a good game. You know, I know you probably saw like half of the first half, but in the first half, he had like a good game. Obviously, the assist, like, his winning the ball back, progressed in play. But then you see with Freddie, he does this thing where, like, for all the good things he does here, he'd rubbish it all by doing something stupid, by like getting caught in front of the defenders, whatever. And it's just like that's why he can't play number 6 for us, because it happens way too often. I mean, there's games against Leicester, games against Wolves, games against Wolves again. It's too many times like where like he does this thing where he's trying to do the good things, but ultimately he's hurting us by trying to do the good things because he doesn't do the good things well enough. Does that make sense?
No, so I know what you're saying.
So someone like McTominay won't show, but because he's not showing, he's not going to get the ball, which means we don't lose.
He won't make the mistake, exactly.
Yeah, but Fred will just show, get the ball because he's trying to do the right thing, lose the ball, and now we're under pressure because he's trying to do the right thing.
Right.
It's just like you're picking your poison.
Yeah, no, that makes a ton of sense, actually.
That's why with Fred, I can't have him as a number 6, because all the good intentions he has, he will just sort of like rubbish it by sort of getting caught. And I feel like that's why someone like Frankie de Jong is needed, because he's really good in that situation, whereas someone like Fred isn't. And I think the only reason why Ten Hag's like fucking with Fred is because he's probably closest in our squad. Profile. There isn't anyone. I mean, you could say someone like Zidane Iqbal or Charlie Savage, whatever, but realistically, they're
you can't ask them to do that now.
They're very untested at the highest level, and it's like you can't really throw them into the deep end, especially like when you're tasked with getting Manchester United back into the
top 4.
elite. Yeah. If you're Man City and you've got sort of like the experience and all the world beaters around you, then it's easier.
Right.
But when you've sort of got like a midfield that's not good enough anyway.
Mediocre. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really sort of like. Well, you can, but that's a very. You're just taking a shot in the dark.
Right.
You know what I mean, it can go either way. So I thought Fred did well in the first half, but then he completely just erased that with a shocking performance in the second half. Like, when I mean shocking, it was terrible. I mean, the pitch again didn't help, but he was awful.
Yeah,
he was awful in the second half. And going into the first game against Brighton, we're probably going to see McFred and Bruno. I mean, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see that. Me personally, I'd rather see someone like Garner or something. But again, Garner hasn't been given the opportunity to. He's been injured and whatnot. He hasn't been given the opportunity to sort of like.
My man said, forget McTominay, bro. Forget that.
Yeah, and like the thing too, I was thinking about this morning too when I was watching the game. The other issue for me with McFred, right, and like he brought my brother up too. Like there's things that they are okay at, but they're not exceptional at anything, and then their weaknesses really shoot us in the foot. And what I was thinking about is like they're like I said, they've hit their ceiling, and then the other issue is everybody at this point has figured them out. Right. Everybody at this point knows what their weaknesses are, knows what their strengths are, know where they're going to struggle.
Right.
And that's just an issue. If you're already an average player, plus people have figured out how to pick you apart.
No, and the thing with so Ten Hag, he called it the connector role, which I really found interesting. That De Jong role, he said, we're looking for somebody in the quote connector role on this last press conference he did. I'm finally watching press conferences again, by the way. I literally stopped watching them all. Like last season, I said, I will not watch a press conference. Every time I come in, I just get pissed off. So I'm not doing it. But yeah, no, like Fred is playing that role right now. And it's admirable, I guess is the word I would use. But if De Jong comes in, right, you just move Fred over to that other side, and it's just perfect. So you have the ball playing midfielder, you have the destroyer, then you have the creator, right? So it's perfectly balanced. we're not gonna. So obviously, we all wanted the DM of our dreams. We wanted that traditional Premier League DM. You know what I mean?
Like a
Like where
Conte.
like a Conte or an Ndidi or a
I would fucking love it,
pick your
dude.
poison. But yeah, no, I think we're the way we play football now. We're gonna have a Busquets type, right? Or you know what I mean?
I
And
mean, I'm not complaining about that either.
yeah, so and we're playing it's a double pivot at the end of the day. It's still
Yeah,
you have that helper next to you, but man,
I
I think I
but
think we'll, I think we'll beat the. So I'll let you go here, Hama. I think we'll beat a lot of the smaller teams because we'll just dominate possession, right? Like I think it's gonna be interesting. Like we were we would well before last season, Ollie was doing really well, playing like the top six because he just sit back and hit people on the break. This manager, I think we might struggle facing that top 6, 7, right? Because they have quality and we might leave some more space if we don't get that midfielder right. I think we'll have a lot of turnovers in play, and there's going to be some spaces. But what are your thoughts on that?
well, yeah, I agree with that. And just to combine it with the Donny thing too, I don't know if we're gonna sign anybody else, but do you think? See, and it's just, it's man, Barcelona's playing games and shit too with people's money and everything. Like,
Right.
I'm hoping at a certain point, if it gets unreasonable, even with Ten Hag, how badly he wants De Jong, we just go and
Get
turn
him
away
to
from it.
right.
Right? There's
Right.
a few other options, and if you wanted, like for me, the two options would be Neves. Am I say that? That is,
Yeah.
yeah, Ruben Neves or Tielemans, but also they might be expensive because
Right.
both of their clubs want to be dickheads. But yeah, man, I think it's important to get that midfield. I don't know if we're gonna get it in the summer, but you're
Mm,
right. It's gonna turn into an issue of are we going to be able to keep up with certain teams when we're leaving that space? Because I agree. I think Ten Hag is going to be that coach who he's not going to be an Ola. He doesn't want to sit back. He wants to press. He wants to play on the front foot. He wants
right.
to attack. He wants to score goals. And yeah, man, we can't. It's a struggle to have a come in with a coach like this and potentially have that same struggle of midfield with McFred and shit
Yeah.
being our pivot.
Yeah. No, Mark. What do you think about again? Do you think it's going to be McTominay, Bruno, Fred? I think we're going to beat a lot of the smaller teams. I think I just brought that up. I think where we'll struggle is the top 6, 7. And that's where we'll probably, in my opinion, I think we're going to get fifth this season. I'll be 1,000% real with you. I think we're getting fifth place, even with this manager. Even though I think we'll improve, I just think the competition ahead of us has improved so a lot. Like Chelsea's improved a lot. Obviously injuries are going to play a factor in all of this, but Arsenal have improved. Spurs, oh my goodness, they've definitely improved, and they
I
have a
mean,
great they have a
I think
great
we'll
manager.
finish those Spurs.
You
Don't get
think
me
so,
wrong. I
man?
know, but I get what
Ooh,
you're saying.
I
But it's
just I think when you give Antonio Conte what he wants, he
I don't
normally
know.
digs out
I'm being a
performances.
little disrespectful because I mean
It's
I feel like
Spurs. It's Spurs.
Spurs
It's
are going to
Spurs.
Spurs at some
It's
point.
Spurs. Right? No, I completely get it. But Mark, what are your thoughts on that? Like this whole McTominay, Fred, Bruno, and then the connector role that should we go for another midfielder?
Yeah, we have to. Like,
Right.
what I've realized about Ten Hag is that a lot of his teams don't really have like uh bona fide ball winners. They're sort of more like hybrids between sort of like a box to box and a ball winner. So when he was at Ajax, he played Lars Sean, I think his name is.
Yeah,
He's
Shona.
necessarily,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think he's like a out and out DM. I think he's a more box to box. But
Yeah.
last season he played Alvarez, he's more sort of like a ball winner. So I don't know. I feel like Ten Hag sort of like flips between what he has in his
Right.
what he has sort of like in his at his disposal.
Right. I, s-
Um,
I- my bad. I was saying I think we will start with McTominay and Fred and Bruno, but he said something I think he was talking to Melissa Reddy. Um and he said we're not just he said it again in this interview, this press conference. We're gonna get the right player. We're not gonna just buy somebody who specific, especially for this this DM role, like this number 6 role. It has to be the right player, or I will develop somebody. So I think that let's just hypothetically say we don't get that De Jong type player. He's gonna start working with these young guys and like try and get them up to speed. Probably play them in FA Cup games. Probably play them in Carabao Cup games. Like the Savages, the Garners, the Iqbals. Like I don't think Fred and McTominay will be a thing in 2.5, 3 months. I think it'll piss him off too much. Honestly, I really, yeah, I think it'll really upset him.
Wait,
And I
so
go
you're
ahead.
saying in 2-3 months, if obviously he has to like see progression, but if he sees progression in 2-3 months, he'll start pulling out Fred and McTominay for some of the younger guys.
Yeah, I think one of them. I think Fred is locked in. I truly believe that. I think he really
Yeah,
likes
yeah.
Fred. I
I
think
think
it's that McTominay role. Like, like he. I don't. I think he wants to play Fred, but I don't think he wants to play him in the connector role. Right. I think he wants to play him in the destroyer role, like what McTominay is doing right now. Right. But if you bring in let's just say Garner, because he's probably the most experienced, even though he hasn't played that much. If you bring in Garner, right, to play the connector role, you let Fred be the destroyer, you let Bruno be the creator, or Eriksson or Van de Beek, whatever the case may be. It gives you that balance. We don't have our midfield still isn't really balanced. Like I don't like Van de Beek. Honestly, I don't like seeing Van de Beek playing as in that double pivot, right?
yeah,
I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of
Because he
McTominay,
has
Fred, and Bruno.
such good instincts in and around the
Yeah,
box. Like I want to see him up there.
exactly. He's like a Frank Lampard. It's like asking Frank Lampard to play DM, right? It's weird, right? Obviously, he can play that number 8 role, but Donnie at his best was third man run into the box, right?
yeah.
Like that's what he did the best, and then he can the first goal he scored for Manchester United on his debut. What did he do? Third man run into the box, late run into the box, scored a goal, right? And we'll see. I mean, Ten Hag knows best. We at the end of the day, we're fans. Like Ten Hag has played him in
Yeah.
that deeper
I think
role.
the problem is, yeah, like you said, I think he likes Fred. I think it
Yeah, I think
also
he
helps
likes
that
Fred.
Fred's left-footed.
Yeah,
I don't mean
yep.
to harp on about that, but I think it does help.
No, yes, 100%. I agree.
I think McTominay, like you said before, I think McTominay is, if you notice sort of like in the previous games, McTominay hasn't really been getting involved in build up, and I think that's
No,
by design because Ten Hag has already noted that he's not good enough to do it, and that can't trust him to do it. I think the problem with Fred is that he's got the good intentions and he's got the bravery to do it. He just doesn't have the consistency to do it like 9 times out of
right,
10. So he might play
right.
like a sick pass, and then the next time he will get robbed on the edge of the area. But I think because he's the closest to the profile that we need in that sort of role, he's sort of like making do with Fred. Now my thing is McTominay's role is more just based on physicality. I think he wants someone. No, I don't want to call it someone. I don't want to mention like a bodyguard, but he wants some like an enforcer that can get
Yeah,
up like
100%,
both,
100%.
that can sort of
Yeah,
like get to both ends of the pitch. So
exactly.
offensively, defensively, and I think like when you look at our squad or whatever, also when you sort of like look at the positions that have been locked in, McTominay is probably the most disposable person there because
Oh, 1000%.
like if you sign another number 8, McTominay's the other side.
Yeah,
You could easily replace McTominay with James Garner right now. But the issue is the number 6, and you
right,
can't. And I think if you were to pair like Garner and Fred, that is a bit too lightweight. I mean, like on paper, like technically it's okay, but in terms of like the physicality aspect, that's a bit
right.
too lightweight. And in the Premier
Yeah,
League, there's like I know people sort of like overlook it or whatever, but it's like there's a sense of physicality that you need in the
in
midfield.
England. Yeah,
No
you need
matter
it
like
in
how
England.
good you are on the ball, like we saw like today, like Kamara today, he didn't look great today,
No, 100%.
and so
Like,
there is an aspect of physicality that you need in England, and I think as well as the number 6, the physicality aspect is missing as well. So Ten Hag's got a lot to do, man. He's got a lot to
no,
do.
he's got a ton to do. Let's talk about the front three. Martial, Sancho, Rashford. I can confidently say that that's going to be the starting front three,
Yeah,
right? To begin the season. Ronaldo's probably going to come back, right? Let's be real about it.
So nobody's buying.
Whether he plays on the left, whether he plays through the middle, he's going to be involved. But who is the most? I don't want to. Let me not word it like that. But Ronaldo. If Ronaldo's back in the side, he's going. We know he's going to play, right? Like I don't think that's a. I don't
To
think
be
that's.
honest, I wouldn't mind seeing him on the left.
Yeah, like I think. Yeah, I agree. Like I think that. I think people have this idea of pressing where you have to be like 1,000 miles per hour every time you press. I don't think that's what Ten Hag necessarily wants. He wants triggers. So like, okay, cut off this angle. So we make exactly just cut off that angle. Make sure it's predictable. We force them one side. We create another trigger. We do the same thing on the other side. We like that's what pressing really. It's not running. Can Cristiano do that? I think he can do that. I think if you tell him, I don't need you, even okay, let's look at some of these sides that press high, like, their number 9 isn't charging down the goalkeeper solely and then running to the right and then running to the no. I think a big problem we had was, in Ollie's time is Bruno would just do that.
Yeah.
Bruno would just run past the striker and try and close down the goalkeeper by himself, and then it's just like,
he left a massive hole.
You just left a massive gap in midfield. But now it's organized. You recognize Bruno isn't. I haven't seen Bruno close down the goalkeeper once.
Yeah,
this whole preseason, right? Because I'm sure
that was probably like,
what the hell? He's probably like, what the hell are you? Don't do that, bro. Like, do not do that. That's not helping us.
Like I think the biggest example was Liverpool when Bruno done it like 3 times and we conceded 3 times.
Yeah, not facts. And so again, Hama, you brought it up, that left-hand side. Who do you think it's? Let's be real. I think Sancho's locked in. That's he's locked in that right side. But
okay.
But do you think so, or when Ronaldo comes back in, what do you think the front three will be?
No, I don't know why. Just because off of last season, I thought you were gonna say Sancho's on the left side. No. I think Sancho. He took that right side. I mean, I would like to see Ronaldo on the left, and the only reason is if we're gonna go off of last season, right? Yes, Rashford struggled, right? So he hasn't been playing terrible in this preseason, but it's preseason,
right?
But I wouldn't mind seeing Ronaldo on the left, mainly because one, he's gonna get his goals, right? I feel like even in the struggling team last year, right, he got his numbers or whatever. But if you can then have Martial get back into form, and with the things that he brings in and the style that Ten Hag wants to play, we're gonna get a lot of those things where Ronaldo's just gonna be standing there, or there's gonna be an opening, or Martial's gonna get that flick in, or Bruno's gonna get that flick in,
right?
And Ronaldo's gonna be the one to benefit from those because he's gonna just get free runs in.
Yeah.
If it comes down to that, I like how the front three's playing now, but again, everything's with a grain of salt because it's preseason.
Right.
But I wouldn't mind seeing Ronaldo coming in from the left and having Martial be that type of. He can get his goals, but we know he can also dribble and turn and play a quick pass and play a quick thing here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that'd be really beneficial. And then also with the way Sancho's looks like he's getting really into the style and getting into the starting 11, taking over that right spot. If we can have 3 people across the front, with one of them being a name like Ronaldo, the amount of time and space that's going to open up for a Sancho and a Martial and a Bruno making a late run is going to be really, really beneficial.
No, those are fair points, bro. Mark, what do you think about that? When Ronaldo comes back, where should he play?
Start the bench. I mean, I say that just because even though he is like who he is, the reality is he's not fit enough as it is right now. And the front three already have something gone. The front three have something good going for them right now, and I feel like it would be very unfair to throw Ronaldo into the mix just because he's Ronaldo. Like, regardless of who you are, you still got to earn your shirt. And as of now, he hasn't done it because he hasn't been involved in preseason, and the front three are showing they're creating a dynamic that is causing problems to other teams. Like if we were sort of like struggling for goals or whatever, then you can make a case. But like, I think we scored 13 in 3 games.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah. I think that's 4, and 2, 12.
Sorry, 12. Okay.
13 in 4 games.
In 4 games. Yeah. Oh
Yes.
no, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got a
Yeah.
bad memory. You can't trust my
Oh
memory.
yeah. Liverpool 4 goals. Uh.
Perth 4,
Yeah. Melbourne victory
Palace
was
was
Palace was
3.
3.
I was supposed to be a stone over here. Y'all ain't shit that. Y'all ain't-
It's 13 and 4. Yeah, 13, 4,
Same.
4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 3, 2.
Yeah, I
Just
definitely
like a formation. Yeah.
my
So
brain is no. It's not working right now, bro.
but,
Let's stop this. It's
yeah.
not just
But
fucking me
like
up, bro.
evidently, goal scoring is not an issue. Like
No, and that's that.
if goal scoring was an issue, then I would say yeah, you could like come back into the fray. But goal scoring is clearly not an issue. When you look at sort of like the way the goals have been spread, like I think Rashford's got 2, Sancho's got 3,
3. Martial's got
Martial's got
3.
3.
Martial's got 3. So everyone's getting on the score sheet. So the
Yeah.
goals are evenly spread. Like my issue is if Ronaldo comes in, he has this aura where I feel like a lot of the players feel like they need to pass to him. They feel like they must pass to him because he's the goal and he can make something happen. And I feel like sometimes that's detrimental to the team because not every single time he wants the ball is always the right decision. Like there could be times where he has like 3 people around him, but because he's demanding the ball, because he's Ronaldo, you kind of feel obliged to give him the ball. But that may not necessarily be like the right decision. But I feel like with how we're playing now, they understand sort of like the moves and like the fluidity that comes with playing without a Ronaldo per se. So I think as of now, right now, Ronaldo's got to work his way back into the side, and if it means like someone has to fall off for him to come back to the side, then so be it. Like
Yeah.
it's like no one told him to
not show up.
Yeah.
No, he wants to leave. Let's be real. Let's just call it
I
what
get
it is.
that. I get that.
Let me be sensitive to the situation because I don't know what the situation is, but
What is undeniably like been reported by trusted journalists. Like
yeah, but
we've heard it.
at the
We've
end
heard
of
it
the
from
day,
Melissa Reddy. I think I've heard it from James Ducker. Like these are like big. These are A game. Like this is like the Woj of like like these are like the Wojes of England.
Stop! You're gonna let me start thinking of the Knicks right now, bro. I'm stressing over what's going on.
yeah. So
like
do you know what I mean? Like self-inflicted in a sense where like
yeah. I mean,
he's not part of the side. I
right.
feel like Ten Hag. I do think Ten Hag wants to keep him.
Do you think
I
he's
do feel
spoken
like,
to Ronaldo? Do you think he's spoken to Ronaldo yet?
yeah, and I do think.
I don't know, man.
I think there would have been some conversations had, and
Maybe earlier on.
Maybe early. I don't know. Yeah,
and
maybe early.
Contrary to like what people think, I still think that this system can benefit Ronaldo. Like people think,
Yeah, no.
because it's pressing and it's sort of like high octane that it
Yeah.
can't suit Ronaldo. I feel like it can. I feel like Ronaldo
I agree with that. I think somebody. Sorry, go ahead, finish.
No, I was gonna say I feel like Ronaldo can eat in the system as well.
Yeah.
I think the issue is that because we've seen sort of like what Martial brings to the side when he's not scoring, people might think it's just more beneficial.
It's
for
more
the team.
beneficial to exactly.
Yeah.
But like,
I saw people talk about it. Like, sorry, just real quick on the Ronaldo thing. It's been 20 years. The system, Ronaldo putting in goals isn't an issue with the system. He might be more efficient in something else, but he's still going to get his numbers.
No, 100%. All right, so real quick, we're coming up on the hour. Let's just real quick rattle off your United best 11. If you had to just run it through, everyone's healthy. What's your best 11? I'll let Hammer go first.
All right. De Gea, obviously. Malacia. I guess okay, yeah. If we're going with Martinez as coming in right away as center back, Martinez. I'm going Varane. I can't put Maguire. I might have a little bit of somewhat of an agenda against Maguire, but I can't. For the style we're playing, I'm going Dallo because I mean everybody knows I used to love Wan-Bissaka, but he seems lost and out of it right now. Maybe it's just the style. Midfield, I don't want to do it, but I have to go McFred just because I don't think Donny could play that role, and I'm obviously not going to be having Eriksen starting a lot. So McFred and Bruno for now, unless we sign another midfielder, and then Yeah, you know what? After going off what Mike said in terms of he just hasn't been here, like, yeah, on paper, he might come in eventually, but in terms of people on form now, I'll go with the front three of what we're
Mhm.
running right now: Rashford, Martial, and Sancho.
Okay, Mark, what do you think about that? What would your best 11 be?
My best 11
Hmm.
would be De Gea, De Lo. I don't know why I thought of that. Like De Lo clearly, De Lo's clearly head and shoulders above Wan Bissaka. I just couldn't think of his name. I was like, what's his name again? De Gea, De Lo, Varane, Martinez, Malacia. I'm gonna go with
He wants to take Scott out.
For sure.
Fred, Ericsson,
Ooh.
Bruno, Sancho.
It's tough.
Ronaldo, Martial.
Yeah. It's a tough one.
Martial out
But
left.
I'll have Martial left and Ronaldo
Okay,
up top. But
respect.
it's difficult because sorry, I don't mean to harp on, but it's just like
No, you're good.
Rashford he's probably like the only outlet that we have in our squad in terms of like
Mm,
directness and going beyond players. But I feel like the way Ten Hag's playing now, like he doesn't necessarily want that. Like if you realize it, a lot of time when like Rashford's 1-on-1, like he hasn't really been taking on his man. He's just been
No,
going
1000%. Yep.
he's going back. He's gone back in and passing it and sort of like settling for like combinations. And I feel like
Yeah.
Marshall's probably better than Rashford at that. But
Right. It's
Rashford,
like it's like a Jack Grealish thing. You know how at the end of the season when he was all drunk up and he was talking and he was like, I'm just so scared to lose the ball in this team. Like
yeah,
I'm just and that I think that's kind of like the Rashford thing too. Is like he's scared to lose the ball because he knows that this manager
he'll be on your
is
ass.
will be on him if he just takes on a man 1-on-1 when there was a simple passing option, right?
Or takes on three guys one
Or
on
takes
one.
on three guys 1-on-1 like
Oh
he
my
used to
god.
do. Yeah, or he probably still does. I mean, we'll see this
Yeah.
season. But my best 11, I'm gonna go Shaw.
Man,
At
you
left
really
center.
like Shaw.
Yeah, I think people overhype
His laziness.
his laziness a bit. I'm gonna be real about it. I think that it's kind of like, okay, Martial fans. I'm a Martial fan, right? The people who talk about Martial, they always say, "Oh, he's lazy, he's inconsistent, he's this and that." It's kind of similar to Shaw. I think they're both highly, highly talented, and when they're at their best, they're impeccable players. Like when Shaw is at his best, he's an excellent left back. I don't care what anybody says. Like when he is at the top of his game, I think he's one of the best left backs in the league. But we just don't see it as much as we should. And it's still early, so Malasia, I don't think he's just gonna walk into the team. But we'll see. So I'll go Shaw, left center back. I'll go Martinez, Varane, Dallo. Midfield, I'll go for now. I'll go McTominay, Fred.
It hurts.
Yeah, it does. You know what? I'm gonna go. No, forget it. I'm gonna go Fred, Van de Beek, Bruno. Um, and then I'm going to go Sancho on the right, Ronaldo through the middle, Tony Martial on through the left. But even honestly, I think that's interchangeable. That Martial
yeah,
Ronaldo thing.
yeah,
I think Tony's very crucial for the build up play. Like if you as we see now, like he drops deep into midfield. Like he collects the ball at the halfway line sometimes just to link it up and pull it out wide to fullback. Like
yeah.
I don't think that's gonna stop if Ronaldo comes in. Like I
I
think
don't
he'll.
think like I don't feel like Marshall's like a better left winger than Rashford, but I
Mm.
think he's more suited to like what Ten Hag wants
Mm,
or how
right.
Ten Hag sees sort of like his players.
He's a better dribbler and like of getting through people and passing and stuff to an
Yeah.
extent.
That's debatable
Because
because I ain't seen Marshall dribble in a long time.
well, we
It's
didn't see
like,
Martial out left in a long time.
like
Yeah.
just the last 18 months for Marshall, he's
Yeah,
been horrific. But
I don't know.
I'm just going based on sort of like what we've seen on like the last 3-4 games where Rashford hasn't really necessarily been as sort of like individualistic.
Right.
Like I think he's more sort of like looking for like the pass and the combination. So that's why I kind of feel like Marshall might sort of like be better on the left foot, but on
Yeah, no,
the
I
wing.
I
But
think
yeah,
he
like
wants
you
link
said,
up
it's
players.
interchangeable. It's
Yeah.
interchangeable. Like if someone said Rashford over Marshall, honestly, I wouldn't be mad. I would just be like, yeah, fine, it's calm.
I'd
As
be
long as
mad.
no one says
I'd be
Elanga, as long as no one says Elanga, then yeah.
Yeah. Who do you think, real quick, and we'll end the stream here. Which one of the young players do you think is most likely to break into the side this season? Who hasn't really gotten a chance? So Elanga doesn't count. Elanga's already broken through. Like what young player do you think that hasn't really broken through yet will this season? Because we always get one. We always get one.
Honestly, I'm being totally honest. I feel like none. Not because of
Mm,
they're not good enough. I think Ten Hag is just locked in and trying to sort of like get us back to where he needs to. So he doesn't
right.
have the luxury to sort of say,
Uh,
Zidane, you go and play. I think like obviously game like they'll get game times or like in their like Carabao Cups, whatever. But I don't think he's necessarily gonna sort of
Yeah,
like
I'm not necessarily saying, start week in, week out. I'm more
yeah,
so
no.
saying
But
break
even then,
into the
I don't
squad.
necessarily
Yeah.
I can't necessarily see like anyone like Ten Hag sort of like leaning on like a
Mm,
youngster or
mm,
like them being like the trump card. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, say if
uh,
we're losing, he might just throw just this.
mm.
I feel like he
Interesting.
looked at his squad and feels like he's probably got like enough there. So
Mm,
when you talk about like the youngsters, I feel like Ahmad probably goes on loan.
you're
I
right.
think Harley Savage probably gets stuck into the 23s, but goes back into the 23s to develop his game. I think Zidane will float around, but may necessarily would necessarily see more 23 action because a lot of people don't realize this is like Zidane's first season playing for the 23s last
Mm,
season. So it's not as
it's
if like
good.
it's not as if like he's cemented his position in the 23s. Like he still needs to go and like learn his grasp in the 23s. I mean, he could skip it, but if he's not playing for the first team, the chances
mm.
are that they're gonna keep him in
Just throw
23.
him in there, yeah.
So he's still active. He's still active. So I feel like he will just sort of like be floating around.
Mm.
Um, Garnacho, he hasn't really done anything this
No,
preseason,
he's not playing. He's going
and,
back to the
and I
23s.
get it because a lot of fans are excited to see him because of the goal contributions and whatnot. But again, he hasn't even he's barely kicked the ball for the 23s. Like he's literally just
Uh,
come off a hot season for the 18s. So
Yeah,
I feel like
and he's saying and Ten Hag already said it, like I don't have the time to bed some of these
yeah.
players in.
So,
He
so
said
if
that
I'm
in
being
his last.
so if
Yeah,
I'm
but
being honest, I don't feel like any of them are going to come through just because Ten Hag's just he's got an MO to achieve, and I feel like he's someone that will try to achieve it by any means necessary.
Hema, what do you think about that?
I agree with a lot of what you were saying. The only person that kept coming to mind for me was Garner. I know we didn't get to see him a lot in the
Oh yeah,
preseason
yeah.
because of injuries,
I was thinking.
but yeah,
Mhm.
like maybe not, maybe not to the extent like he was talking about in terms of really getting playing time and leaning on them and
Yeah,
significant moments, but in terms of coming into the team, kind of like Alanga did,
exactly,
I think
exactly.
Garner can, and the only reason is two reasons. One, compared to the other youth players,
He's
he
got the
got
experience.
significant experience. Right, he got
Hmm.
genuine playing time, not just a handful of games.
Mm.
And again, back to if we don't sign the midfielder, I think at some point, like you said, Temi, McFred is going to piss off, you know,
Yeah, he
Ten
will.
Hag enough to where he's going to want to at least try to see who else can maybe come and take some
Right.
positions in there. So.
Exactly. Yeah, no, every it happens every season. Somebody breaks through every season without fail. Like I can't remember
Mm.
the last time somebody didn't break through. So like last season was Alanga. The season before that, um, that was Ollie's first. No, that was Ollie's second season. Did we have someone break through? I think we who broke through that season. Um,
Number 11. I'm not seeing his name.
yeah, number
Uh-huh,
11. There we go.
uh-huh.
I would say number 11 broke through the first Ollie's first full season. So it was Brandon Williams and number 11. That
Brandon
Yeah.
Williams.
first full
I forgot
season,
about
they
Brandon
broke.
Williams already.
Yeah, they broke through. Yeah, he's
The thing
done.
is though, yeah. Sorry to interrupt you, yeah. But I feel like, yeah. All right, let me ask you a question. Do you feel like there could be a situation where, because like the players have improved their levels, yeah, he
Mm,
may not necessarily want to bring in someone. So, like for instance, they say like Sancho adds like 10 assists, 10 goals. Marshall adds 10 assists, 10 goals.
Uh-huh.
Rashford like gets back to playing ways.
Mm-hmm.
Fred slightly plays better.
Improves, yeah.
McTominay.
Yeah,
goes
just
from like 5
everyone gets 10% better. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Remember? Like if everyone gets 10% better, we're 10 points better, right?
Yeah.
Just this team.
Yeah. So do you feel like if Ten Hag gets to like that place where everyone's sort of like 10% better, he may feel that he needs to bring in someone?
Yeah, so great question. I'll let him answer here in a second. He's already he keeps on saying the right players. Like I truly believe he's not really looking elsewhere. Like when it comes to this De Jong thing, like I know they say they have backup. He has made it clear in I think 2 interview or a press conference and interview, like I'm not signing someone if it's not again the right player. So yeah, and he said if we don't find one, we'll develop, which means Garner, Iqbal, Savage. No, Hama, what do you think about that? And then give me. You said Garner. Oh, you already said Garner for yours. I would say it's either going to be Zidane or Garner. One of those two will get 20 games in all competitions. I'll say that one of those two will get 20 games in all competitions.
Yeah. In terms of what Joe was just talking about too, I don't know. I mean, are we talking short term here or long term? Because I don't think long term Fred and McTominay aren't it. So
Yeah,
at some point
100%.
we're going to need to sign something, even if they increase 10% in terms of their quality and consistency. They're still not. They're that would be slightly above average because they're average players. And I don't think that's enough long term.
No, 100%. And like just think about like just think about the past 3 years. Like really think about it. We would go into almost every game and look at the other midfield and be like, yeah, they're better than us. That midfield is better than our midfield. Like it could have been against Villa, sometimes against Everton. I'm looking at Everton sometimes, like obviously not last season, but season past, like it was Decore, Allen, Gomez. Yeah, and it's just like it was almost embarrassing sometimes. I remember I saw a Troy Deeney interview where he literally was like, "Yeah, we target Fred." Like he said it openly. He was like, "Yeah, no, Fred's not good on the ball. Like we know his first touch is a little loose, so like the manager wants us to."
Well, that was my thing too. I said earlier, right? Like McFred, they're average and they've been figured out. So,
right. Yeah. We need press resistant midfielders, 100%. Yeah. But now we're running over, guys. I really, bros, I really appreciate you hopping on.
That's all right, man. Thanks for having me, man.
No, of course. So, guys, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 a.m. my time, live streaming.
What time is that over here, bro? That's America, bro.
That's noon. That's noon. Or are we 5 hours apart right now, or 6 hours apart? We're 5.
What state are you in?
I'm in Maryland. Yeah. Well, how about you, Hama? Where are you at?
I'm Jersey, East Coast though.
Oh, you're in Jersey? Okay. Got you.
Where's Maryland?
So Maryland is like 20 minutes away from DC. Or less than that. It's like right, but I'm like 20 minutes away from DC.
So I was in Virginia.
So you're both East Coast.
Yeah, both East Coast. Yeah, Jersey's probably like 3 hours from me, 3 or 4 hours.
I'm about. Well, should I move? So I'm a little further, but I'm less than an hour away from New York.
New York. Okay. So yeah, you're probably like 3 or 4 hours from me. Yeah, it's all love. Wait, where you? How about you, Mark? Where are you in England?
London.
Oh, you're in London, bro. I'm about to be there in a couple months, bro. We gotta link up, man. I'm gonna be there in a couple months. Yes, sir. So, guys, appreciate it.
Show you some London food and whatnot.
Yay, man! I was there last year. It was a vibe, bro. I can't lie. I had a great time.
I need that. I have freaking English citizenship. My ass still hasn't even been there.
Bro, you gotta go, bro. You gotta go. It's a lovely place, man. Even though it's cold as hell. It's cold as hell, but it's a lovely place. I had a great time, man. Yeah. But guys, appreciate it as always. Make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Follow my bros, Hammer and Mark. You feel me? And I will talk to y'all very, very soon. All right. Deuces.